Hey guys, today we're going over adding mixed numbers with unlike denominators. So the things we have to remember when we are adding mixed numbers, we have to first have a common denominator. Okay, so remember that's the number on the bottom. Okay, to find that, we're going to use our LCM, which means to skip count. Okay, after you find our common denominator, the second step is we are going to make equivalent fractions so that we can find something equivalent so the numerator and the denominator have to change. Okay, and then 3, we're going to solve. Last step will be to simplify if needed. Okay, so let's get started. If we were going to use the problem 3 1/3 plus 2 1/2. Okay, so we need a common denominator. Denominator is the number on the bottom, so I have 3 and 2. Those are not common, so I'm going to skip count those denominators until I find something common. So 3, 2, 3, 6, 9, 2, 4, 6. So I notice that 6 is common, so my LCM equals 6. Now here we're going to set up our problem. We need to make both of these have an equivalent fraction. So I set up these boxes telling me that I'm going to multiply by the same number on top and bottom to find my equivalent fraction. Okay, so we ask ourselves 3 times what number will equal my LCM of 6? So 3 times 1, 2. What you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So 1 times 2 is 2. So 1/3 is equivalent to 2/6. So with 1/2, we know our LCM was 6. So 2 times what equals 6? 2 times 1, 2, 3. What you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. 1 times 3 is 3. Now they have a common denominator. We can now go on and follow through with our problem. So 2/6 plus 3/6, we're only going to add numerators and our denominator stays the same. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, 5/6 is a proper fraction. Now we're going to add our whole number. So 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, so if I look at 5/6, I know that 5 is a prime number, which means it only has factors of 1 in itself, and 6 is a composite. Okay, but 5 is not a factor of 6, so we know that this cannot be simplified. Okay, so that was a simple problem. Let's try another one. I'm going to erase all of my steps because we know those already. If not, you can always rewind. Okay, so let's try 12 3/4 plus 6 7/8. Okay, so I first notice that my denominators are unlike. So if they're unlike, I need to find a common denominator. I'm going to skip count my 4 and my 8. 4, 8, 12, and I notice that 8's already here. So I don't have to skip count that one. My LCM equals 8. So with that LCM, I'm going to set up my problem here. Remember, your LCM goes in this bottom box as our new denominator. So we ask ourselves, 4 times what equals 8? So 4 times 2. What you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So now 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so down here, 8 times what number equals 8? So we didn't move, that means it's only times 1. So what you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. 7 times 1 is 7. So that fraction actually stayed the same. If you already knew that, you could have written in, but we just want to show all of our steps in our video. So now that we have our common denominators and our numerators have changed and we made our equivalent fractions, we can now add. So we add our numerators, denominator stays the same. So 7 plus 6. 7 plus 6 is 13. Okay? So when I look at this fraction, I notice there's something wrong with it. My numerator has more value than my denominator. So this tells me that I can take out at least one whole from this fraction. This is an improper fraction, and I need to make it a mixed number. So the easiest way for me to do that is just to divide. So I'm going to divide my numerator of 13 by my denominator of 8. I'm seeing how many groups of 8 I can take out of 13. So 8 can't go into 1, but 8 can go into 13 one time. Okay, so I can't do 3 minus 8, I regroup. 13 minus 8, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Some of us already know that and some of us may not. So we're here. Okay, so what we've learned is this, our quotient, is actually our whole number. Then we go down, the remainder is actually going to be called our numerator. And then back up here at our divisor, that is going to be our denominator. Okay, so we replace this improper fraction with a mixed number. Okay, we're going to go back to our whole numbers. So 12 plus 6, I know 12 plus 6 is 18. Okay, but now I'm going to go and I'm going to add this to it. So I'm going to do 18 plus my 1 and 5/8. Okay, my fraction will stay the same. 8 plus 1 is 9, and then I bring down the 1. Okay, so I look at my fraction to make sure that it is simplified. 5 is a prime number. 8 is a composite number. It has more than 2 factors for 8. But if I look at 8, I know that 5 is not a factor of 8, so this means it is simplified. Okay, so these are just 2 quick algorithm examples. Remember, we can also do models. If you want to see a model video, just let me know. This is just the algorithm. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Let us know if you need any help.